Okay, guys, so we're live. Again, we're starting a little bit late. We don't really have that much going on until much later today at 10 a.m. Dude, I'm looking at this thing on my face. I don't know if I got like head butted during jujitsu or like what happened, but this part of my face is now I'm feeling is kind of sore. Um, One of the most common like injuries you get. Hey, where's my mic? There we go. Yeah, there. Okay, that should be a better mic. Yeah, but one of the most common injuries you get in jujitsu is head butted. Accidentally, of course. It's always an accident. Um, but it happens. So, show must go on. We're gonna go, and we got some Fed speakers today that are gonna be doing stuff. Here's the Nasdaq, which is pretty much flat today. You can see the SPY up here on the left. I don't think we had any big earnings today. SPY is actually green. Nasdaq is red today, believe it or not. Um, Let me see if we have any big earnings. I don't think we do. We have consumer sentiment at 10. Um, Yeah, we don't really have any big earnings today at all. Nothing major, nothing big, to be honest. What did we have yesterday evening, dude? I didn't cover anything. Um, Again, what earnings dropped yesterday afternoon? Does anybody know? Hey, what's up, Shepard, Eric, Mario? Let me get some music playing here. Hold on. Oh, dude, I brought my son to jujitsu yesterday, man, and he had another freak out. I don't know what to do with him, dude. Let me know if you can hear the music. You should be able to. Again, markets are going green on the day. Big dip yesterday, but again, the market's been up so much that like it's not really a super shock if we pulled back some eventually. You know, market's been ripping up so much. Again, today we got some Fed speakers. We got like Bostic speaking. We've got consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Yeah, so we got Lori Logan, Dallas Fed president, speaking basically right now. She starts speaking right now at 7:30. At 9 a.m. we got Bostic speaking at 10 a.m. consumer sentiment. So it's a long story, Shepard. I don't even know if I want to go into it. So like basically the trade desk. But yeah, basically, so like, you know, I've been paying for private lessons for him too, because like I just want him to. He's a terrible sport, and I honestly I can't get too upset because like I'm hyper competitive as a person. Like I really am. Like I'm a hyper competitive person. Sometimes that ends up backfiring on me, of course. But it's also like the way I explain it to the kids is like it's also a good thing. Like usually the most successful people in the world are hyper competitive. And I'm not even claiming to be like some super successful person, just to put that into perspective. I'm just saying I'm very competitive. My son's very competitive. My daughter's very competitive. But yeah, anyways, so he's been doing private lessons. He had a kid, and you know he's been learning about guard and guard breaks and holding people in guard, and then he learned like Kimuras and Americanas. Anyways, Bitcoin, the Dow at 34K. Bitcoin, where's Bitcoin at? I know there's some hype about a Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin's still at 37K. But yeah, so basically he had this, he was sparring with this kid who had much more experience than he did because it was pouring down rain in here. So there weren't that many kids. And so he was sparring with this other kid. And this other kid was like experienced. He had like, let me see. He had this kid. This kid was kind of like a burly kid, like strong. And so this kid was taking everybody down. And so sure enough, this kid took him down. And so anyways, this kid's taking everybody down. Jack gets this kid in his guard. And like they let him just kind of keep going. And so they end up rolling for like like 6 full minutes, 7 minutes. Like, it just didn't stop, right? And Jack's trying to sweep him. Anyways, the kid finally ends up breaking his guard and catching him. And then afterwards, Jack just freaks out, like runs over, like hits me with his gi top, like literally throws his gi top at me and like whacks me in the face with it. And like, honestly, in those moments, I just try to stay calm, you know? So like, I'm just kind of like, all right, bro. And then Jack runs out, and like, I was worried he would go out into the parking lot, you know? So like, I ran after him. Yeah, the whole thing is just exhausting. You know, my daughter did great. My daughter has been doing jiu-jitsu for like less than a month. She's been doing it, right? She's been to like 4 classes maybe in jiu-jitsu. They play King of the Hill. She went through 4 rounds of King of the Hill. So she beat every kid in her group 4 times for 4 rounds. You know, there was 4 different kids in her group that were all like the bigger kids, like the older kids, because she's older. And she just ran through all of them. And she's got less experience than all of them too. So it was actually really impressive there. The Fed, anyways, I'm venting about parenting woes over here. I'm going to go ahead and pivot to the, I think we got some Fed speakers today. Again, Lori Logan is speaking right now. I don't know how much she's going to affect the market. She's scheduled to speak today. Let me see. Oh, wait, today's Veterans Day. Is today Veterans Day? Oh, I'm sorry. Shout out to all the veterans, Oh, man, I didn't even realize. Datadog, DDOG, yeah. What do? They didn't really react much. Bitcoin bull run started. Have you bought some? Yeah, I mean, I've been holding some. But all right, we got consumer sentiment data at 10. What a crazy good week for growth though on my channel, man. This month alone, so we've got over 55,000 views. Or we've got roughly 55,000 views over the last 2 days. So we're averaging like 27,000 views a day on my channel this week. We've gained almost 3,000 subs this month. Great month so far for views. We'll see if it keeps it up. Yeah, I was looking at DDOG. I don't see them move that much, to be honest. Again, Lori Logan is supposed to speak today at 7:30, which just started 6 minutes ago. I'm not sure if she's going to help or hurt the market. I forgot today was Veterans Day. The bond market, I believe, is closed, right? Okay, so no, everything's open. NASDAQ, bonds, everything's open. Futures, they're all open today. Hey, thank you, Pew Pew. I think it's pretty obvious that one more rate hike is in the bag this year. I don't think so, dude. I disagree. I mean, maybe, maybe we do, but I don't necessarily think so. I think that, yeah, DDOG was Wednesday night. Appreciate it. Yeah, so I don't think we raise rates again this week. I think a lot of Fed members, I think people mostly want the market to go down, and so that's why people think we raise rates again. And again, I think you have to look at the probabilities. I think it's very unlikely that we raise rates again this year. And again, I might be wrong, and I haven't even looked at the probabilities. Again, the probabilities are 91% for December that we're going to pause again and that we're not going to raise rates. And again, I agree with that. I don't think, judging by what the Fed has said, which, they've had a lot of comments on this, even yesterday's speech by Powell. Judging by what they've said, I think that the Fed is going to pause again in December. I think they're going to start raising rates if things turn. But as of now, in this current state, unless CPI comes in really hot, like CPI next week will be incredibly important for what the Fed chooses to do, as well as PCE data. I'm not sure when the next PCE data drops, but that's going to be incredibly important for regarding what the Fed wants to do here. You know what I mean? Like next week is CPI, PPI, all that good stuff. The following week, we got core durable goods, Michigan consumer sentiment again. Thursday, we got, yeah, pretty slow week. Not next week. The week after is actually pretty slow. I'm not sure what happens the week after that. Let me see. So the last week of November, new home sales, consumer confidence, GDP. Core PCE. So PCE doesn't come out until November 30th this month. So we still got about 20 days before PCE comes out. So again, I'm not sure what we're going to get. It depends on what PCE data as well as CPI, PPI, all that stuff comes out next week. Good morning, John. It's the muscle shirt that draws in the viewers. Yeah, these guns, you know, top 3 shoulders in the world right now, you know. No. Honestly, when I wake up, I'm cold. And so I end up putting on like a sweater. But then after a while, a sweater, I'm too hot. And so I usually kind of balance it by wearing a undershirt like this and then wearing a sweater on top of it. So I'm not too hot, not too cold. Kind of Goldilocks over here. Yeah, the number will go down as we get closer to December. I don't know. I don't think we're going to raise rates in December. Let me do a poll right now. I'm going to do a poll. I haven't done a poll today. Genuine question. Do you think the Fed will raise rates in December? I'm curious. I want to know. Hit the like button while you're here, team. We appreciate it. You think the Fed will raise rates in December? I disagree. I don't think we're going to. Yeah, I think it's pretty certain that we're not going to as well, you know. Yeah, I think we might have a Santa rally is what I'm hoping for. All right, guys, what do you find the odds of a rate hike? You go to CME Watch Tool. Here, I'll post the link if you want to check it out. Sorry to hear about your kid. Maybe you will outgrow whatever's making him act out like that. Yeah, man, I don't know. It's just he's a good kid. He, you know, again, like, you know, with kids, you got to worry about like whether they're like a sociopath or a psychopath, you know, and the main way you test that, and again, I don't think my son is one. My son's not one, because the way you can tell is empathy. You know, you see if they have empathy, you know. And one thing my son has always done is like, if my wife's like, hey, give me a hug, my son's like, no, he's all mad. And then my wife kind of puts her head down and walks away kind of slowly. My son feels bad and runs up and like gives her a hug and says he's sorry, you know. And so that's a good, you know, he shows empathy. So he's a good kid, smart kid. He just hates losing. He's highly competitive and hates losing. And if he's not like a professional at everything he tries for the first time, he just doesn't want to keep doing it. Try to tell him like, look, if you do that, you're never going to be good at anything because you're going to quit too early. You're anything you try, you suck at for the most part for the first couple tries. You know, it's normal. Most of the kids there do it for years. Yeah, boys are just different, man. They really are. My daughter, he's 9. My daughter, just night and day difference than my son. My daughter had her own set of problems, but like, just so much different. So much different. My daughter, when she was like a kid, was very sweet and like nice and like kind and easygoing and laid back. Um, my son's sweet sometimes, but like, you know, he's a little jerk half the time. uh, yeah, I mean, we're talking about how he acted at jujitsu. Um, Yeah, maybe I rephrased it wrong. I'm not worried that my son is one. My son shows empathy. So my son's not one because he shows empathy. I guess I phrased that wrong. I guess what I meant to say, since we're getting some kickback in the chat, is that what you don't want for your kids is for them to be that, right? And so it's a good thing he shows empathy. He's just a terrible loser. He just hates losing. Terrible sport, I should say. That comes across wrong. He's just a bad sport. He's a good kid though. He's just really smart. And again, I think he's really smart. I think he struggles socially, and so I think that's normal if you're really smart. I struggled socially as a kid. Yeah, all good, TG. It's all good. Hey, what's up, Sam? All right. Yeah, he hates losing with a passion. I do too. I don't like losing at anything. And that can be really good because you'll have resilience to keep wanting to win as you get older and you try different things. But yeah. Oh. You think we go down more? I don't know. I think we're still up a lot. I think if we look at the SPY or the Q, here's the yearly chart. Like, Q's getting pretty close to lifetime highs. It's at 370s right now. The lifetime highs are at 380s. So we're not that far up with the Q lifetime highs. The SPY is a little bit worse. So tech is doing a little bit better is what this means. But we're still not far away. Highs are at the 450s. We're at about the 430s right now. So yeah, I mean, SPY and NASDAQ are still up a lot. I think they could pull back some. I think it's also possible that the market might just be kind of flat. But yeah, I think next week you got to remember we have CPI on Tuesday, PPI on Wednesday, and CPI is the biggest inflationary data report the market gets, right? It's the one that influences the market the most relative to like PCE, which is the other one. Michigan inflation expectations is another one, stuff like that. But the big one is CPI, which is next Tuesday. And a lot of the time preceding these big reports, the market will be sideways in terms of like traders being more traders having more apprehension to take big positions ahead of economic reports like CPI next week. So that's something that that's a nuance of the market you might want to keep in mind right now, because yeah, the market could be flat today in anticipation of everything. Hey, thank you, Francis. Chop City. Yeah, I think we could be choppy. I think he doesn't like losing in front of you. Every kid wants to impress his dad. Yeah, he just doesn't like losing. It doesn't matter if I'm there or not. He just doesn't like losing. Yeah, I mean, Shepard, I get it, but again, y'all really don't understand the scale of his freakouts. Like I've told him, trust me, I've told him. I said, look, dude, I've told him. I said, look, man, you can't freak out like this. You're gonna ostracize yourself from the other kids. You gotta just shake their hand and walk away. And you could be upset. I even told him, I was like, you can even cry a little bit. You know what I mean? If you need to. What you can't do is hit me with your gi jacket in front of all the other parents and run around and lock yourself in the bathroom. That's what you can't do. Yeah, gold dropped. Yeah, gold's been under 2K though, Stans, for a minute. I think I saw SPAC yesterday. If I did, my bad. But yeah, we're at 1950s for gold. So gold dipped a little bit. Again, if we look at gold though, gold's actually up a lot. We put a 20-day chart for gold up. You can see gold has been on a run back up. It was at 1880s on the 13th of October. Now it's at 1950. Yeah, he has ADHD. He has a ADHD combined presentation is what it's called in a high IQ. We got him tested because originally we were worried about autism, to be honest. And so we got him tested by like one of the really good tests for it. And we also got his IQ tested, and he had like 120 something IQ. I think it was like the high 120s. But he had ADHD, what they called combined presentation, with bad impulse control and trouble focusing and paying attention and hyperactivity. So all of those things combined just can be a bad recipe, I think, sometimes, and a good recipe in some ways, of course. I try to tell him, like, I have ADHD. The good thing about it is that I can hyper focus on anything if I'm interested in something, which really is a skill. It's beneficial sometimes. It's helped me in a lot of different ways. But it's also, you don't really learn to control your emotions until you get older, I think. And so when you're his age, it's just kind of tough. What pre-market news is there today, bro? It's 8:30. Thanks, brother. Yeah, we don't really have any 8:30 reports today. We got some Fed speakers, specifically Lori Logan speaking right now. I'm not sure if she's going to help or hurt the financial markets. Bostic speaking will probably have a little bit more influence over the markets. Bostic is scheduled to speak at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. So... yeah. I don't mean to keep bragging about my son and his IQ. I really don't. I don't want to. I'm proud of him, but like, I'm also trying to explain. If you guys hear this stuff, I don't want you guys to have the wrong impression of him. Like, he's very smart, and so that's why that's why I point that out when I can, because he's very smart. He just struggles to control his emotions. Anyways, Trade Desk drop earnings. They're gapping down a lot. I'm going to move on from this conversation because, to be honest, it really is just a stressful conversation for me. Anyways, Trade Desk at $60, almost a share, gapping down. I'm assuming they missed. Let's see. To be honest, I've been watching the Trade Desk stock for so long. I still don't know what it is. I assume it's a stock market stock just because I'm a trader. But Trade Desk just posted EPS of 33 cents, adjusted EPS of 33 cents, revenue of 493 million, beat estimates on EPS and revenue. Q4 revenue came in at 580 million, so lower than expected is what dropped the fourth quarter revenue. Guidance is what tanked the Trade Desk on the left side here. You can see the guidance right here. Again, it posted 580 million versus 610 expected for the fourth quarter guidance. So that is what dropped the market. We also have Logan saying central banks must be prepared to respond if reserves unexpectedly fall too low. Yeah, so that's what it is. He's 9. Yeah, it's interesting, Tiffany. Appreciate the, SPY pre-market pump continues shorting from Powell's comments yesterday. Yeah, Powell, I don't think his comments were super negative either. He just said that they would raise rates if they needed to. That's basically what he said. Powell basically said he would raise rates if they needed to. We posted this here. And what's funny is that, like, see, this is what Powell said. Powell said, "We are not confident we've achieved sufficiently restrictive stance. If it becomes appropriate to tighten policy further, we will not hesitate." He said this yesterday. That's one of the reasons the market tanked for sure. Was this, and again, we'll see if he, what else he says regarding everything too. I'm not sure. But I don't think we're going to raise rates again, even with him saying this. This is what ultimately drug the market down some of these quotes, I think. We also had those environmental protesters back storming the stage again, and they delayed the Powell speech. Yeah, Powell closed the freaking door. He said, yeah. Call us bluff again today. I don't know. Yeah, man, I was joking yesterday. Those environmental protesters are lurking in the shadows for Powell, man. Like every Powell speech, the last two I've covered from Powell, except for the FOMC meeting, but the one before that, Powell starts speaking, and these environmental protesters jump out of the shadows and start yelling and yelling. And Powell's starting to get heated with them. He's starting to get mad. It's very entertaining. I don't mind it because it honestly, more people watch my streams whenever we're covering that. And they end up having to escort Powell out the building and let things cool down, and then bringing him back in and letting him finish the speech. But you can tell he's starting to get frustrated. He cursed yesterday. Yeah, it's not true. He didn't. That's not what happened. I'm sure you could use a tact. I'm sure you could use a tact very freely, but yeah, they didn't attack him. They just ran up and said, protested environmental stuff. Yeah, they're just trying to get attention. Like, I think protesting is good, but I also think, I think some people are just doing it to feel validation in their life. Like, they're just doing it to feel excitement. They're not doing it because they actually truly care about whatever it is. They're just doing it to feel like they're fighting for something. So again, consumer sentiment data drops at 10 a.m. today. We got Lori Logan speaking right now. Yeah, not that I'm aware of, Stans, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm new to the channel, excited about it. Question, do we discuss option contracts? Sometimes. They get paid to do it? Maybe. Y'all hit that like button. We got 700 or 71 likes. We could break 100 if we can. We got over 300 here already. Started the stream less than 30 minutes ago. Yeah, so market's trying to bounce. Q is trying to bounce as well. Again, I think short-term extension is on the downside. And so I think that in that regard, we could bounce. I also think that we already have bounced some, though, and that true extension over the last 10 days is on the upside. I think we're probably a little extended on the upside. We might start pulling back a little bit if we're not choppy, which I think is today's a holiday, as well as it's the Friday before next week and Tuesday's CPI report. And so I think in that regard, we might have really choppy, activity today, although I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I heard it was going to be cold today. I mean, I'm guessing. I mean, I'm not even about to talk about that, Kenny. That's no-go conversation for me, sir. I'm going to respectfully decline. It's Veterans Day today. Yeah, so 35 million shares. See, this is what I told people yesterday. I never thought the AMC. All right, so look at the Q and the SPY starting to pop. Looks good. Um, Nemesis is a word. Or are you gapping up in the Qs now? I mean, there's a couple reasons. So just to look at this real quick, guys. Fed's Logan says central banks must be prepared to respond if reserves unexpectedly fall too low. Fed has several tools for this, including SRF. And so that's what Fed Lori Logan said. You see Powell spoke a little bit. Yeah, nice, Ricky. What's up, dude? Good luck. What's this pop? Anyone speaking? Nobody big. All right, team. Again, slap that like button. Markets are starting to churn up. All right, so Vince McMahon is going to sell 700 million in TKO stock, and Ari Emanuel is going to expect to buy a portion, or is expected to buy a portion. So yeah, so basically WWE is owned by TKO. Ari Emanuel, who's now the owner of the UFC, is gonna take it. So yeah, we'll see if we bounce. Again, I think we dipped so much yesterday on Powell that the market's just kind of bouncing up and rebound from that. Two years ago today, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of 68,569 according to Coinbase. Will it ever break that price again? All right, guys. Again, I'm waiting to see if we get some good action today, although I'm also kind of sketched. I think the market might be kind of slow. right now. So we just got to be careful. All right, so again, SPY pull it back. Kind of want to buy this right now. Kind of want to buy it. All right. All right, so we got this little dip. How do you minimize a huge loss on a position? A loss that you're already taking? Like an already established loss? Bro. Dude, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. You know. Morning, John. Question: how do we get a better understanding on these analysts that have a star rating? If they have low rating, how can they keep their licenses to rate equities where to fix money? I mean, I would Google that, brother. I'm not sure about all that stuff, man. About the analysts. Plug in AMC. Where's AMC at right now? I mean, I know AMC had a bad time yesterday. Still looks red. I'm slightly red in my portfolio today. That is green on the portfolio overall currently. I have a strategy for that, but he needs capital to get out of that loss. Fed, look at it's lying. They have no reserves. Maybe. My music is from Epidemic Sounds. It's a license-free music software or license-free music site marketplace. Yeah, where's 30-year bonds at? What is the yield on 20-year bonds right now? 20-year rate is at 4.97% compared to 4.82%. Anybody see where I can see a yield graph on stocks for the 20-year? What about the 30-year? Some countries offer 50-year bonds, but not the US 30 years the most. What's the yield on the 30-year bond? See, 4.7% is not a big enough yield personally for me. You know what I mean? Like, that's just not a large enough yield. I need more than that. You know? It's not a large enough yield for a long-term bond like that, man. For something that takes that freaking long. It just takes too long, man. All right, so markets are starting to bounce here. Got it move. Logan line. Bank offers me 5% slash 30 year. Does that work on here though? Oh, it does work. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Bob. 5%. All right, there's a market rip. All right. All right, so there's the market rip, popping back up to 370 plus on the Q, up to 335 plus on the SPY. You know, the SPY prior to this kind of big dip from Powell was at 436s. So we're back up to 435s. We're pretty close to where we were prior. We still got some room though. So if I could do slash 30 year, I should be able to do slash 5 year. Do they have 5 year? Yeah, I mean, to be honest, unless you really want to lock in a high interest rate, I don't know why buying a 30 year at 4.7% is going to be that much better than buying a 5 year at 4.6% right now. You know what I mean? You could buy a 5 year bond right now, guys, and this actually seems like a pretty solid deal. Like, okay, the yield on a bond is a 5 year bond is 4.6%, right? So let's take that and say you invest 100K for 5 years. You're gonna make, I don't even need the calculator. You're gonna make $4,600 a year on these 5 year bonds, right? And we're just gonna round up to 5,000. You know, just to make the math much easier. Or, okay, I'll just do this. $4,600 is what you're gonna make per year over a 5 year period. You're gonna make $23,000 from 100K. So over 5 years, you're gonna make 23%. You know, over a 5 year period. That's not that bad. You know, that's not that bad. I mean, it is 5 years though, and so it's not really good either. But you know, trading regular, you're gonna do better. You know what I mean? Just trading, just investing in the S&Ps. That's the only big problem. Is like investing in the S&P. You're gonna just get much better results generally over the long period of time. Market's still looking very strong too. I'm always here. I'll still stand by the $4,000 bottoms. See, but that might be your problem, Ramsey, is that you're getting too stubborn, brother. You're getting too stubborn, man. You can't be too rigid with your predictions. That's the biggest mistake people make. That's why people end up having these huge drawdowns in their accounts, is because they're just really stubborn, especially to the downside, brother. Like, let me explain this to you, Ramsey. Okay. You could be stubborn with your upside potential as long as it's like a reasonable upside bet, right? Like if it's in an index fund or a blue chip stock, you can be stubborn with that and bag hold. Like bag holding long blue chips or the index funds or whatever is okay, in my opinion. Again, I'm not telling you to do it. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But bag holding those plays makes sense because over time, blue chip stocks are almost always going to go up. Not always. Let me rephrase that. All blue chip stocks aren't always going to go up, but most of them will. And if you look at the S&P 500 and track that, most of the index funds are going to go up long term. And so being stubborn on the upside predictions is fine because eventually, if you wait long enough, you're correct most of the time. It's the exact opposite with downside predictions, brother, because if you're wrong and the SPY moves well past that, you're never going to see that level again if you're wrong, right? And so that is way more risky to be stubborn with those predictions, brother. Way more risky. And again, I think if you're trading, guys, you can't be too rigid, especially on your downside bets. Because again, I don't know how many people that told me the market was going to crash at 370s and now we're at 435. And so I think you can't be rigid with downside predictions, and I think that's the hardest one, because again, I made this post yesterday on Twitter. And the post is very true. What I said, and again, this is just kind of a recreation of something I've said a lot back, for a while now. But what I said was, but the problem is, how do you go back and check to see where this post came from? Somebody was talking about how everybody's always predicting crashes, right? And so my response was very similar. Okay, here it is. They said this guy Sven, who's like this big analyst, he said, big picture chart study that is quite revealing. Call it my bears and idiots chart. I've been guilty of this myself. Since 1932, there have only been 3 events of more than one down year in a row. 3 events only since 1932, almost 100 years. Only 3 times, 3 events have we had more than one down year in a row. Okay, World War II, early 70s, and the 2000 tech crash, all roughly 30 years apart. What you get from this, guys, and again, this is just facts, as the young people like to say. What you get from this is that more than one down year in a row is very, very rare. Guys, I don't care what your news source says. I don't care what your crash predicting technical nuances show you. It's incredibly rare. Again, the conclusion that this guy posed is that structural bear markets that last more than 1 year in a row are very, very rare. Okay, there's corrections, sure, but like, again, if you get really stubborn on your downside bets, especially like everybody's screaming that we were going to crash this year, you can get really pulled in the wrong direction. And again, if you're too stubborn and rigid with that, you can lose a lot of money. My response to this post was that the problem is that the news, media, so forth and so on, all tell retail traders the market will crash. They say, oh, the market's going to crash, be the next big short, the market's going to crash. A large majority of the time it does not, and retail misses out on the big bull market years. I've seen this over and over again. Banks know and understand this better than anyone. Okay, and so again, be smart, understand. And again, I told you guys this actually follows well. The reason I'm talking about this is because if you guys, I'm like a broken record with this, but the reason I'm a broken record is because I was right. I was right a year ago when everybody told me the market would crash. I was correct in that it didn't. Okay, I was more so correct in my reasoning by thinking the market wouldn't crash. And again, I'll show you my reasoning. My reasoning is that we already had a really big red year in 2022. 2022 was a terrible red year, right? The market doesn't go down forever. If you guys have listened to me for an extended period of time, regardless of whether you like me or don't, that is something that I have said over and over and over again. The market is not going to fall forever. You have to understand this. And so if you look at 2022, for instance, 2022 was a bad year. It's not just going to keep dropping forever. That's incredibly rare. And so in that regard, when everybody was predicting a crash way down here, I told people we didn't have to crash, and that I thought we were actually probably extended on the downside and we'd start to bounce up. And that's exactly what we got this year. And so again, I'm definitely tooting my own horn a little bit, of course, but yeah, I think people just have to understand, long-term down markets are very rare. Well, no, rare in yeah, I mean, maybe we're in rare times. Sure. But again, everybody thinks we're in rare times always. We always have craziness going on macroeconomically. It's very, very rarely quiet in macroeconomics. And so maybe we crash, but it certainly doesn't have to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about you, Ramsey, here necessarily. You saying we're going to hit 4,000 or whatever is not a crash at all. It might be a correction, and corrections are certainly more common. So again, I'm not talking about you, Ramsey. It's all good, bro. Yeah, but I'm sure So, but Metin, uh, think about what I'm about to say objectively. Okay, regardless of which side you swing to politically, all right. The other side could always say the same thing. They go say, "Oh, we got a bad president, and we're in debt." You know what I mean? We could say that universally throughout the last 100 years, bro. And again, it's a subjective thing, and so it doesn't mean anybody's right or wrong. It's subjective, and so that's not really the biggest argument. You know, um, you were right, we were wrong. You're smart, we're dumb. You were good looking, we are not attractive. Billy Madison. Is that Billy Madison? Oh no, that's Happy Gilmore with Chubbs. Fear sells 100%. That's really what gets people, is that fear sells. You got a lot of big YouTubers pushing this, right? And a lot of the time they don't like me. They'll be like, "Oh, John's a beginner, And it's like, dude, I was more right than they were. They were predicting crashes back a year ago, and I was telling everybody we didn't have to crash, and now they're just mad about it for the most part. Can you trade futures 24/7 on any platform? You can on most platforms. Top Step is a day trading combine, though. So Top Step is specifically meant for day traders, so you're not going to be able to trade 24/7 on Top Step, no. Why is NVIDIA popping up again? Well, NVIDIA's run recently, and again, it's all the way back up to 470s, hit 480s yesterday. NVIDIA's recent run is mostly from AMD earnings is what sparked it. So AMD reported earnings, not too long ago, and that is what sparked this latest turn up on AMD or in NVIDIA. AMD dropped great earnings, posted way better than expected results, and NVIDIA followed it up in sympathy. And then that followed. What followed this was NVIDIA coming out saying that they had a plan around some of the potential chip bans, and that they were going to put out some other chips to get around it. And that caused some optimism as well, and caused NVIDIA to pop up. And that is really what is the behind the latest run up in the equities markets is NVIDIA. NVIDIA, AMD have led this run. Tesla prior to the last few days has also helped. But Tesla's now down at freaking 208s, looking rough again. Hindsight's 2020. Yeah, but I was saying this thing before it happened. I think a crash is still coming. Maybe. This NVIDIA 250 year to date, still not understanding. AI is the reason. So AI is the reason it's ripping up. XFA Ahmed is what. I mean, I trade a little bit of both, to be honest. I've got a bunch of different accounts, but I'm funded currently on 2 different accounts. Working my way on getting funded on a third one, but I am funded on multiple different ones. Gratitude is a good thing, yeah, for sure. But no, NVIDIA's up because of AI, brother. AI popped NVIDIA up a lot. That is AI to in that regard. AI really is this groundbreaking thing that is going to really influence production for a lot of different things. It's one of the reasons you see these big tech stocks jumping on it, because it really is, that thing that changes tech and tech landscape. Going sideways or a slow grind down could be worse. The market is meant to go up. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what. Again, a crash is falling. We're going to crash eventually. Crashes are inevitable. It's not something that we're ever going to be able to stop, in my opinion. Crash is the technical definition of a crash is dropping, over 20% in a short period of time. That's the technical definition of a crash. We could also correct and have bear markets too. But again, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it again. And understand, bears, I'm not against you. And maybe I'm wrong, okay? Like, bears, I'm not against you. I could certainly be wrong here. So don't think I'm just hating on you, because I'm not. And the market is all speculation anyway. But I think that, again, I think a lot of people are influenced by people like Michael Burry. Like, people are influenced by the movie The Big Short. People are influenced by big stock trading influencers and YouTubers who get more clicks if they tell people the market's going to crash. And so in turn, you hear markets crashing every week on their channel because they get more views that way, right? And people are really people can fall for that stuff really easily, you know, and everybody wants to call them. And I, to be fair, I think a lot of the YouTubers aren't doing so trying to be misleading. I don't think they're trying to trick people. I think they truly think we're going to crash because they want to be the next Michael Burry, right? Like they want to be the next Michael Burry. They want to call the next big market crash and have the foresight to call the next big market crash. And so I think what happens when you bundle all of that stuff together, you get an array of crash predictors, and you know, that influences retail traders, and then retail traders follow that, and it's just kind of a snowball effect from there. And to be fair, I like Michael Burry, but common sense, level-headed investing advice is greatly appreciated and much needed in this age of charlatans, conmen, and hustlers. Hey, my guy, thank you, Bobby. Yeah, AI is really what's influencing it. And to be fair, tech stocks still have a really high PE ratios. They still have really high PE ratios. AMD, Nvidia, you know, a lot of them are really, you know, what used to be a good PE ratio was like 15. You know, now most of the Magnificent 7 stocks have a PE ratio between 30 and 100. You know, that's high, conventionally, at least. That's very high. And so again, we'll see, but yeah, it's still very high. Bears are necessary evil. Yeah. I'm a big chess player. I'm more of a poker player, to be honest. Like, I'm a big poker. Like, before I traded, I played poker, right? I still play poker. I love poker. It's like my favorite game in the world. You know, in poker, again, I've said this 1,000 times, but the similarities of poker and trading are very, very true. You calculate pot odds in poker, essentially calculating risk reward. Poker is a mathematics game. And so, you know, if you got, you know, 10 people around you that have put up $20, you know, and you only have to put up $20 to enter in that pot, even if you have, you know, 2-7 offsuit, it still might be a good plus EV play to put in your $20 because you're getting a 10-to-1 pot odds in that situation. You know, you're putting up $20 to potentially win 200. So you got 10-to-1 pot odds. It's good risk reward in poker, basically. And so in that regard, that's the correct move a lot of the time. It's not always, it's much more nuanced than that. But in that regard, again, poker, very similar to trading in that way. Very similar. Yeah, a lot of people think it's antiquated, but ENPH in phase. All right, so Nvidia, rip it up, drag the Q, spy up some today as well. Big pops. Where's Apple at right now? Again, Apple at 183s. Apple didn't have that bad of a day yesterday. Apple's still doing well. Yeah, I haven't played poker on stream too much. I tried playing poker on stream a lot, but I noticed that like my ADHD is too bad for that. Like I'll end up just not paying attention to the stream at all and sitting here watching poker. And I'm pretty good at multitasking, and I do it sometimes, to be honest. And I'm sure you all don't realize it, but I stopped doing it as much because I'm trying to focus on the stream. I don't want there to be huge pauses of silence. What is AI pin? Hey. Love you. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm looking at this AI pin. All right, so people are making claims against Buffett. In the clip below, they're saying Buffett privately traded in stocks that Berkshire was buying and selling, which is insider trading. I mean, yeah. This is AI pin that I'm seeing. What does it do? Yeah, okay, so this AI pin is like this little piece of tech that you pin onto yourself that has a audio sensor that you can speak into and ask questions. You can say, hey, play this song, and it does. And so that's what this AI pin from Humane is. So be watching that. That's a pretty cool piece of tech in AI. Yeah. Is Burke down on this news today about about Buffett? Let me see. Burke. I don't think Burke ever moves in pre. No, it's not really down that much. I don't know when that news came out. I'm still in ETH times 100 long from 1600, 30 bucks, 1.6 ETH. Hey, nice. That's great. Great job. Congrats. What do you predict on Tesla for the Cybertruck release on the 30th? I'm not sure. I'm in Tesla for that, and I'm just kind of sitting in it. But my size isn't like crazy big. But I'm again, I think the Cybertruck's going to break records, but I might be wildly wrong. And if I'm wrong, it's not going to be the end of the world. If I'm right, you know, we'll see. Okay, so Tron founder Justin Sun's crypto exchange Polo NEX hacked for over 100 mil. When the senior dev sees a for loop, that could easily be a map.filter. Tiffany Fong says she's re-entering the dating market, and it's going to be disgusting. Honestly, bro, I couldn't imagine being in dating right now, dude. Honestly, I feel like it would be a lot easier, though, in all honesty. You know? I think dating would be a lot easier. Like, I've got family who are like that are older, that are like, they're trying to go on dates, and I told if I was that, you just go on. There's so many apps that you can use nowadays. It'd be pretty easy to find a date. Now, filtering out the good dates versus bad dates is a different story. But, you know, with tech now, you can find dates pretty easily. Who's Momo? Is there any way of finding out pre-orders for the Cybertruck? All we have is consumer sentiment data room at 10. We got consumer sentiment data at 10 is what we got. Burke was recently found guilty of conspiracy housing activities. I believe it. Because finding dates is easier. That's something long term is more difficult. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you just got to figure out. You just got to filter. You know, but you filter online. You go to a date. You go to a public place. If it doesn't work, it's a numbers game. I'm sure. You know, you might have to get in front of 10 people to find like one long-term candidate. I would say maybe it's more, maybe it's less. I don't know. Again, it's been a long time. Yeah, so AMC guys again announced a $350 million ATM offering at the market offering. It's going to be about 35 million shares they're adding to the float. And again, people can say whatever they want about AMC, and I'm in AMC, and I posted this too. That's not a good sign. That's a bad sign, man. If AMC has to dilute itself to stay afloat when everybody else is talking about how successful of a company it is, not a great sign. And you can't blame short sellers. Like, again, one of the reasons they don't move that much is because they've been diluted so much and because they've done so many weird things. Like, again, they've done a reverse split. They did a special special dividend, ape divvy, the special purpose ape divvy. And then they reversed that divvy with a reverse split, and then they diluted themselves in a year and a half. You know what I mean? That's a bad sign. Like, that's not short sellers' faults, guys. Like, I know we got a lot of AMC traders out there, and I'm in AMC. I hope it goes up. But that's not short sellers' faults. That's bad company decisions. That's bad decisions by the company itself. Yeah, pal. Honestly, my problem with most of the AMC guys, right, is like you got these guys that really mostly pumped AMC. They told everybody what a great buy AMC was at like 50, or whatever it was at like 20. It's a pre-split price of 20. Right? So they tell everybody what a great buy it is. AMC goes up to 70, and at the time I actually sold a lot up there. But AMC goes up to 70. They pressure them not to sell. They grow huge followings from basically telling everybody AMC is going to hit 1,000, and then AMC ends up dropping huge percentages over the next 2 years. Meanwhile, they're promising the world to everybody. Most of these guys are retail rookie traders too. And I'm in AMC. I hope it goes up. Right, but a lot of the guys pushing this are new traders that don't really know any better. A lot of the guys following this are rookie traders that don't really know any better. I see a lot of like older stock traders that are new doing this. And again, the problem is that now, after they've told people for years that AMC was going to hit 1,000, they just kind of move on over to economics. They're like, oh, well, we're not going to cover AMC anymore. We're going to cover stock. We're going to cover Jerome Powell now. And it's like, oh, now you guys are switching your tune. Now you guys all of a sudden are wanting to cover economics. What happened? That's the main problem. What news, Cryptic? You can find days for getting them to show us a different thing instead of charging people. Microsailor made over $1 billion and unrealized. Hey. BOK seemingly registered an iShares Ethereum trust in the state of Delaware. All right. So again, exactly 6 years ago today, or exactly 2 years ago today, Bitcoin hit a high of $69,044. Kevin Williamson. I would reach out to Moo, brother. I'm not sure what you're trying to do, Kevin, but again, I have no idea. I'm not actually currently sponsored by Moo anymore, Kevin. So again, I would reach out to them, brother. No idea what you should do there. Not liable for whatever you do. Again, I would reach out to them, bro. Q pop it up a little bit though. AMC's still down. Again, what it sounds like, if you're talking about through Stripe, if you're talking about depositing money or like connecting your account to a bank account, I had to do that, but I'm not sure if they ever asked me for my password or anything like that. I can't remember what it took. Again, I would reach out to Moo specifically because they're a U.S. regulated exchange, brother. So I'd reach out to them. Then today's the anniversary of me realizing I need to learn about the stock market, crypto, and trading. Plug as issues. Yeah, Plug power. Yeah, I mean, again, what got me in the stock market, again, I talk a lot of smack. Plug down huge, bro. Wow. A lot of people were saying Plug was going to run yesterday. Plug down, like down. But yeah, so what got me in the stock market is very simple. It's The Big Short. The movie The Big Short is what got me involved in the stock market. Without question, the movie The Big Short did. The reason for that is like, I got involved with the stock market because I was a poker player. I watched The Big Short. I realized how much money was floating around in the markets. And so, I was always a strategy game player and everything like that. Like, I always loved strategy games. I always played strategy games. I was always a big checkers, chess player, poker player. And then once I realized that I could essentially do the same thing in the stock market, that's when I really started to learn about it. Of course, the first thing I did was go to day trading, see Tim Sykes, Warrior Trading, all that stuff. And, financial freedom, millionaire students, get rich, eventually kind of evolved past that, but let me check pawn, looking it up now. Plug Power crashes. The hydrogen company needs a hand from the government. Plug Power looks in dire needs. Hydrogen tech companies tumbling. Plug shares were down 29% in pre-market on Friday at 420s. Third quarter report was a shocker. The company said it was hit by unprecedented supply challenges causing hydrogen shortages while also being squeezed by inflationary costs. So yeah, bad earnings for Plug. Yeah, Plug down big at 370s. Still even weaker than when it was when this article dropped. SPY still kind of moving up though. SPY still looks pretty good at 435s. Pretty green day today, back up. Yeah, let's see if it continues. Santa rally. Again, how are you guys, red or green this week? Red or green this week? I think I'm probably red in futures, in all honesty. But that's okay. Again, if you haven't already, check out TopStep. TopStep funded program in futures. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the target on the demo without hitting the max loss, and while following the rest of their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150,000 with a 90% split once you're funded. This is a great way to learn trading. Day trading specifically. A lot of day traders try to go to penny stocks or they go to cash accounts. You're going to be so restricted trying to trade those most of the time that it's just not going to be worth it. Again, a much better way, in my opinion, is to learn futures trading. In the futures market, I can basically trade the Q. I can basically trade the SPY price action of what's called the NASDAQ. I can trade basically what the Q is following, which is the NASDAQ 100. I can trade what the SPY is following, which is the S&P 500. And I can day trade, short, buy market, sell market. No PDT rule. And these funded account programs give you the best of both worlds, where you got limited risk, genuinely useful because you got limited risk. If you lose the base one, for instance, you're out $49, a very small sum of money relative to what a lot of people lose when they first start learning day trading. But you still have pressure to succeed. So it's not just a demo account. You still have pressure to succeed. And if you're good enough to pass it, you get between 50 to 150K in funding with a 90% split. So once you're funded, if you make 10,000, you get to keep 9,000 of that, and you get to keep your first 10K in profit, and there's free funding coaches and all that good stuff. Again, they are a sponsor of mine, so I'm certainly biased, of course, in their favor because, they pay me money. But again, I genuinely think it's useful for traders. I think it's a great way to learn day trading with a smaller amount of money and with less risk. And if you're good enough to pass it, you still get a lot of the rewards. So check them out. Here's the link. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. It's in pre-market right now. The market is not open. Yeah, for sure. For sure, Ryan. Gary G said, Gary Gensler said, a rebooted FTX run by ex-New York Stock Exchange chief is possible if done within the law. Just a terrible idea, though. Again, this is not a good business move, of course. Like everybody, obviously this is not a good business move. And again, in one of my Top Step accounts, I am up a cool 300 today. Mostly following chart primes, signals, and alerts. So look, we're up about 3. We actually haven't had any losses. What I've been following is the long side because I think we're in an upward trend on chart prime. And again, this is chart prime is a trading view indicator service. You can use it in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Here's a 1-minute chart. And what I'm learning, guys, is that the strong signals on a 1-minute chart are very, very nice. Very, very nice. Number one, I mean, look, if you just back test this yourself, right? Let's back test today's action real quick. All right. And we'll genuinely look at how many of their indicators in general using the Market Oracle and the Market Oracle Pro on a 1-minute. So like a day trading chart, right? And again, I use these a lot with funded account programs, but let's see how much they work. This strong signal is what made me that 300 just now. Nice little bounce. We could say this one failed, and that's fine. This strong signal definitely worked. So that's 2 out of 1 win and fail. This one worked as well. You got a nice little breakdown. That's 3 and 1. This one, again, whether you want to say it worked or it didn't, it's a different story. We can say that's 4 and 2. Or no, that's 3 and 2. This one worked, this buy signal. That's 5 and 2. This one worked, this reversal up signal. That's 6 and 2. This strong one worked. That's 7 and 2. This buy signal and reversal signal worked. That's 9 and 2. This sell signal worked. That's 10 and 2. This buy signal worked. That's 11 and 2. And again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But again, just on today's action, look, this reversal up signal worked. That's 12 and 2. And again, you can keep going back. These didn't work. That one worked. Again, I can keep adding up. So far, just on what I see from yesterday and today, 12 and 2 on the E-mini. This is the S&P 500 futures contract, 12 and 2. Again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. But again, I can't also fake what I'm showing you. Like, this is not fakeable. Again, look, the latest strong signal worked here. Again, if you want the Market Oracle Pro, the strong signals, all of them have worked today. Look, strong signal here, big breakdown. Strong signal here, big bounce. Strong signal here, big bounce. And so again, I can't guarantee you're going to make money. This is a company called Chart Prime. Really useful, to be honest. Really useful. I find it incredibly useful, but they are a sponsor of mine. But it's pretty cheap. It's like $50 a month, I think. If you use my link, you get 40% off. And so if you want to check them out, again, here's the link. Oh, you'll be all right, bro. Yeah, I saw you on Top Step TV the other day. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate the love, bro. Yeah, I mean, again, CPT, I'm going to tell you this. If all you ever say is about Top Step, you're going to get banned the next time, brother. If you're just kind of trolling me about my sponsor speech again. Last warning, dude. It's all love. I'll ban you forever, but it's all love, Federal Reserve repos is below $1 trillion for the first time in 2 years. BLK is confident it will approve its the SEC will approve its spot Bitcoin ETF by January, according to Fox News reports. I'm gonna do a poll on Twitter right now, I think. You think the Bitcoin spot ETF? Think any Bitcoin spot approved at the end of January? All right, so we're doing a poll here on Twitter right now. Yes, no, we're gonna be the polls. How long should I do this? I'm gonna do this for a week. I'm gonna make this poll. I'm gonna do the poll for 5 days. The end of January 2024 is when we'll make the poll results. Again, vote on the poll. We got yes or no. Again, market's still churning up here. Looks good. Yeah, I see the ETH spot filed as well. If you can be patient with your order and no FOMO, a good way to get leverage and exponential gains on Bitcoin is the BITX ETF or BITO. Bears can use BITI option chains. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to make money. Somebody talked about it the other day. There's a lot of there's probably a lot of potential in shorting crypto coins as well. Not like I'm not talking about like the big boys like Bitcoin, ETH. I'm talking about like meme coin shorting. And again, you can kind of see using Chart Prime. I also get these alerts. Like, look at these alerts. Apple alert fired. So I get alerts when different indicators show up on charts, and that's very useful. I could also get like text messages sent to my phone. All right, guys. We got a cool 40 minutes until the opening bell. Honestly, some of this AI software is really dope. Dump at 10 a.m. Yeah, consumer sentiment data at 10 is a big one. All right, so again, all the votes so far on Twitter say yes. Let me say, what other poll did we do today? We said, do you think the Fed will raise rates in December? 54% say no. Yeah, the fact that half of people think we're going to raise rates in December is pretty shocking, I think. I just think that's incredibly unlikely, but maybe I'm wrong. Again, maybe I'm wrong. It's certainly possible that I could be wrong there. I don't know. Finally, AMC moving.
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the haters though. Like you get haters that just kind of sit around waiting to be negative. You love to see that like success bothers people so much that they just kind of obsessively hate the channel. You love to see it. Hey, cheers to you guys. Honestly, I really wouldn't be where like the channel really wouldn't be where it is right now if it wasn't for haters, bro. Like haters kind of drive you to keep pushing. You know, I said it a long time ago. You know, I said this when Beginner Trading had 10,000 subscribers and we got like 1,000 views per stream. You know, haters are going to keep hating and it's going to suck for them because we're going to keep growing faster and faster and faster and they're going to have to watch it. So cheers to you guys. I just want to take my Friday, you know, cheers to you guys at home. Appreciate the motivation. Genuinely do. Thank you so much. Is the US positive or not? Well, yeah, the market's very green. Look at the SPY rip. SPY's almost up to 436. SPY's almost up to 436. I appreciate Ramsey for the donation, even though you're wildly wrong about your drop prediction. Thank you so much. And thank you, New York. I mean, again, a lot of you think I'm trolling, and I kind of am. But it's honestly so true, man. Again, people don't realize. Like, a word of advice for everybody at home. Spending your time hating on somebody else is just a waste of your time. You know, you're going to get so caught up in watching somebody else and what they're doing that you're not going to grow yourself. And you're not going to focus on yourself and improving yourself or your situation. And so I know it's human nature a lot of the time to just kind of sit around, you know, being weird. But in the end, it's just a very bad sign for you. I've disliked certain people, of course, but like I've never disliked them to the point where I'm obsessively watching their streams, waiting to disagree. I think that's a different thing. Yeah. So far we got 100% yes votes on Twitter. What's up, John? Powell's gonna raise rates after that debacle yesterday, just out of spite. Nah, man. Powell wants balance. He really does. Powell likes balance. So you wrote Call of the Wild? Yeah, that's me. I wrote that book. You know, I wrote it about like I don't know when was that book written? Like what? Like 80 years ago? Maybe earlier than that. Let me see. 1903. Okay, my apologies. That book was written 120 years ago. You know, but yeah, I wrote that book. You know, it was one of my best writing. You know, I don't like writing that much, but I do it, and when I do it, you know, I just succeed at it. You know, I named it The Call of the Wild after my great-great-grandma. You know, her name was Wild, and so it was about her call. You know what I mean? Anyways, Q's push it up, SPY's rip it up right now. Again, we've gotten a decent amount of votes already on the Twitter poll. All of them have said yes, the spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved. All of them have said yes, which is kind of shocking. Again, I think the problem is that if it doesn't get approved, the crypto market's going to dump. Appreciate all you do for real. Thanks so much. Yeah, for sure, Joe. Can I hate on the music? Hey, you can hate on whatever you want, brother. I might troll you for it. Hate watchers are a necessary evil. Yeah, I call it the Conor McGregor effect. Right? Some people watch Conor McGregor because they like him and they want to see him do well. Other people watch him because they want to see him get knocked out, but they both watch. And again, I'm just going to brag a little bit about my channel, man. Check this out. Like, again, November so far has been a great month. Again, November so far has been a beautiful month. Look at this. You know, like, look at this. So yeah, like the last 48 hours, we got over 50,000 views. Just look at the last day, right? Like, look at the last day starts here. I don't even know if you guys could see that, but it's been a great month for growth for sure. You know, fun little month. So appreciate the love. My economic streams have been going crazy. Honestly, they're fun to cover, but they're also kind of hectic and chaotic. They're fun though. I always get excited streaming those big ones. Howard Stern effect. Yeah. Yeah, the problem, again, I said this before, I'll say it again. The problem is that the problem that for so many people front loading onto a potential approval for this Bitcoin ETF, again, the problem is simple. The problem is that if it does not get approved, the market is going to crash. The Bitcoin market, crypto market is going to crash if it doesn't get approved, right? That's the real risk here. Hey, baby, come here. Oh, you don't have to. It's up to you. All right, sorry. My wife Carol's asking me some stuff. We got the cool sounds of John in the morning here. Jazz right now. Jazz. Dude, look, dude. I think I got hurt. I think I got headbutted in jiu-jitsu. Powell is a lawyer, not an economist. Well, Powell is a. Hey, dude. Hey, do you have a shirt on? Nope. Here, if you're gonna be on stream, you better go grab a shirt, bro. Powell is an investor and a stockbroker / investor. I don't know if he's a stockbroker, but Powell is a fund manager. I'm pretty sure. Powell made his millions as the vice president of an investment bank. So Powell's actually an investment banker. He's also an attorney. Powell is a freaking overachiever. You think you're doing well until you see Powell's accolades, and then you're just like, man, dude. Powell's just flexing on everybody. Hey, buddy. How you doing, man? Here, don't go over there. Nope, there's too many cords and like coffee cups over there, buddy. I say hey to everybody, dude. Love you, buddy. Yep, here. Jerome Powell said that yesterday. I was quoting him. You shouldn't read that. Powell said close the freaking door, but not freaking yesterday. Jack saw the comment and said, hey, look, don't you say that. Close the freaking door, but a bad word is what Powell said. Basically what happened, Jack? Yeah, word. Basically, Jack, what happened? Basically what happened was that Powell started to speak, and they've got these environmental activists who are like Powell's arch nemesis. You know, so like they're waiting for Powell to speak, and then they hide in the audience, and then they jump out with their signs saying, "Oh, protect the environment." And Powell hates them at this point. Yeah, Powell hates them at this point, and so he just kind of reacted negatively to that. Here, bro, you can't. No, get away, Jack. You see that cord? Look, again, you can't play right there. It's gonna unplug the monitor. You can't ever come under this desk. You understand? There's too many cords and stuff. But also, these monitors are really heavy. If they fall, they can fall like, you know. All right, dude. Yeah. Your bruise isn't from laying on your hand yesterday. No, I don't think so. I think I got headbutted yesterday rolling. I think I got headbutted yesterday. It happens, like, more than you realize in jiu-jitsu. Hey, bud. You know, say hey to everybody. My son Jack is here. You have any good morning so far, buddy? Thank you, buddy. That's good, man. Jack says subscribe, so you better do it. Don't disappoint a 9-year-old, okay? Thank you, buddy.
One thing I noticed, why do the comics always say anime?
Because they're loud. Because I'm a funny guy. Like, funny, haha. You know?
What I do is I'd go low.
Lol, you mean?
Low. With an E.
Lel? Why Lel?
I don't know. Like you suck. Low.
Yeah, but the real saying, Jack, is lol. Is how they pronounce it, lol. It's laugh out loud.
Who's low?
It's just pronouncing laugh out loud,
Who's
lol.
low?
Nobody.
Like everybody in my class saying Mona Lisa. I say, who's Lisa?
What are you doing here? Yeah, don't mess
Is
it
that
up.
a good?
No, that's just that's here now.
That looks like a good one.
Yeah, just be careful. This desk can be very unstable. Hey Jack, do you think the Cybertruck is cool? Let me show you the Cybertruck, bro. This is the Cybertruck. It's the newest Tesla truck. Give me your first opinions on it. Show you the black one.
It kind of looks good.
Okay, it kind of looks good. You like it?
Kind of.
There's no right or wrong answer. It's subjective, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you like it or no?
I like
What's your
it.
take on it? If
I
you don't
like
like it, what's wrong?
I don't like it because I thought it'd be like smaller.
You thought it'd be smaller, but it's a truck.
Yeah, I know.
So I mean, it's supposed to be big. That is a truck. It just doesn't look like one. Look, here's the back.
It's good.
It's good. What do you like and dislike about it? Tell me.
That one has a sky background to it because I'm reflecting
Yeah, it's like mirror.
near.
Yeah. So what do you like and dislike about that Cybertruck, Jack?
I like cars with lower shapes, smaller shapes.
So you like smaller cars, but this is a truck, bro. So this is kind of like
I like
our white truck out there.
I
That's
like
what kind of it.
trucks. You mean the Toyota?
Shh, I don't want to tell them what it is. Yes, correct. But we don't want to tell them exactly what we have. But yes, correct. But yeah. So you don't like it?
I kind of like it.
You kinda like it?
75.
75% like to dislike ratio for Jack. Okay, good enough. He's 9. Yeah, I did see Joe Rogan shoot an arrow at it. He doesn't like it. Short Tesla, Jack confirms. Yeah. All right, guys, we got 24 minutes. We got consumer sentiment data dropping at
The
10.
moral of the story, eat the dogs.
Yeah. Hey, dude. All right, guys. So we got the consumer sentiment data coming out.
Is that a cord company?
What?
A cord company? Because it's just plug.
Kind of. It's an EV charging company that did really bad because hydrogen is expensive and the margins are bad on it right now. So yeah, it's
Like
a
from Project Almanac.
yeah,
School would steal hydrogen.
yeah, exactly. You know, the reason they had to steal it is because it's not easily available and
How do they even get hydrogen?
well, you buy it. You can buy anything for the
Yeah,
most
but
part.
How do they get natural hydrogen?
Yeah, baby. All right, my wife's here. Remember to say hey.
Morning.
Yeah, Jack's telling us about his opinion on the Cybertruck. Let's get Carol's opinion on the Cybertruck. So, Carol, do you like do you like the Cybertruck? Here's a black one.
I think it looks kind of ridiculous.
But that's the point, though. It's gonna turn heads. It's gonna turn heads.
I mean,
It's
I
gonna
think
turn.
it's definitely very futuristic.
'Cause he's the one that created it. I think it's dope,
I
dude.
mean,
I
it
like it.
definitely looks very futuristic. Very,
It looks like Mars rover-ish, but I think that's the point. And it's a truck, and it's got good towing power, and it's electric, so it doesn't, you don't have to put gas in it. Look at that jacked up Cybertruck. I mean, that's not cool, dude. Yeah. Yeah, people hate on it, and I get the hate too. I really do. But like, I think it's also cool.
and
All right, Kale's out of
Alright,
here.
guys, I gotta run. I hope everyone has a good day and a good weekend.
Alright.
Alright. Alright, buddy. Okay. I'll be back. Okay, we're gonna do some work.
Yeah, do schoolwork when she gets home. All right, dude. Okay. Yeah, you can sit in the corner and program. That's okay. All right. I would drive one, but wish it was a hybrid. Yeah, I think hybrid's going to be a lot better for mileage. The biggest complaint you see from people in terms of EVs is that charging's a pain. But it's also much cheaper to charge than pay in gas. Even if you have to pay for charging, it's still a lot cheaper. You know what I mean? So I think, again, I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think EV is going to have a lot of I think EV is going to have a lot of people against it, specifically. Because I think that big oil runs the world, and a lot of people have to understand this. Like, you got to understand, big oil runs the world. I promise you, they do not like the concept of EV. I promise you, they don't. And so, in that regard, like, I promise you, they do not want. They do not want EV to be a big thing. And so that is why you see so much like kickback from people. And I think that's why you see so many negative articles about it. And I think if you're not smart and you just kind of read the negative articles, you're going to get wrapped up in, hating EVs when you don't need to. Like, you don't need to hate EVs. I think EVs are obviously more efficient than gas-powered vehicles, and I don't think it's really a question on whether they're more efficient. I think they're obviously faster. The mileage is better. They mesh better with technology, and regardless of the environmental implications, I think EVs are something that are simply more efficient. And so the fact that we don't see more EV stuff now is crazy. I think we see a lot already, I guess, but I think we should be more accepting of it as a technology because it's just more efficient. And I'm a car guy. Like, I grew up with JDM and racing and all that stuff. Okay. The only screen that's showing right now is that screen right there. Yeah, they can see you right there in the background. Look, you're right there. All right, bro. Calm down. It's all right. Yeah, they're nice. They're cool. All right, so the Fed speakers. Yeah, that's cool. Be careful, bro. All right, so we got consumer expectations today, guys. All right. All right, team, bear with me. I'm kind of getting some other stuff done. All right, bud. Yes, we got consumer sentiment and expectations at 10. There we go. Yeah. All right. Sorry.
I'm gonna stay out there so I don't interrupt your stream, but I'm gonna wait for my iPod to charge. I'm gonna come here, okay?
No. Hey, wait. All right, guys. Sorry. Yeah, they got some cool books over there. Just read those, dude. $10 to $19 for 100 miles of supercharging. I mean, no. Again, Cal, to fill up a car right now, how much do you think it is to get 400 miles? All right, so your car has what is let's see. A Toyota Corolla holds 13 gallons in its tank. 13 gallons, right? That's times 3. You know, I guess maybe you're right. About $40 a gallon, or $40 to fill up. See, that's just way different though. Like I'm in a truck, but I think outside of that, the mileage is going to be much different in an EV. You know, let me see. Yeah, you might be right though. Let me see. 32. But even if mileage, and again, I think EVs are still going to have a little bit better mileage. But even if they don't, I think there's other efficiency and arguments. But maybe you're right. I don't know. $50. Yeah, all I'm looking at is my bias, which for me to fill up my truck is about $120. It's not cheap right now, but $100, $120. Yeah. So it's not. Again, I'm not driving a Toyota Corolla. You know. And again, if you charge your car at home, which I think is what most people are going to do, like if you charge your car at home, you know, you pay a couple $1,000s and you get free home charging that you can do in your garage. So you don't have to fill it up at all. And so the only real problem with EVs, so the mileage in that regard is still going to be better than most cars, unless you're driving long distances, which is a very niche scenario. It's not everybody, of course. Anyways, we're going to get ready to trade the opening bell here. All right, so again, we are going to be trading on Top Step X today. Sorry, my son's in here, so I'm just kind of talking with him. We did reset our account, and so I might take a couple swings and just reset. I want to get funded on 150K Combine. I have gotten funded on multiple 50K Combines, but I'd really like to get funded on one of the 151, so that's what you're going to see me today play around with. You know, and again, Chart Prime, guys, again, I can't talk about it enough. Like, look at how accurate some of these are, dude. Like, look, sell signal, bearish engulfing, reversal down. I'm sure, and again, I've calculated it. Chart Prime's a trading view indicator service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. I've calculated it to where if more than one shows up, like if more than one shows up at once, I think the accuracy increases even more. Like, look at this breakdown. Look at all these three, and then look at the nice flush down you got from it. So far on a 1 minute chart is a new one I'm back testing. The strong signals work very well, very well. Put a 1 minute chart up since that's what I'm using here. That can also be filled at home. You can get 14 gallon gas conversion. That gets you 400 miles per gallon on a wide range of vehicles. Yeah, that's a very niche scenario as well, you know.
Goodbye.
All right, Jack is going hang out in the other room.
Goodbye and subscribe. Remember to subscribe. You have to subscribe.
Thank you, bro.
And thanks for passing 100,
Yeah.
100,000 subscribers.
Thank you, dude.
Thanks for everything.
Love you, buddy. Good job, dude. All right,
Thanks for supporting my dad.
thanks, buddy. Love you, man. All right. Fed's Powell's newest tool. Yeah. Close the door. Hopefully Powell doesn't close the door on the economy. No, not you, Jack. I'm talking about Powell. Never mind. I didn't want Jack to think I was yelling, close the door. Hey, thank you, Timmy. Yeah, he's a good kid. Anyways, market's starting to flush down a little bit. I'm not really buying up right now. The market's starting to fall down some. No, mostly doji strategy. No, there's like so many different strategies they use, man. And there's so many different indicators too. It's not just one indicator, you know? Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. All right, so again, E-mini pulling back. Bro, I got people reaching out for sponsorships constantly, man. I'm not even trying to brag. It's kind of annoying. You know, you got all these very niche, like very obscure softwares that people want me to sign up with. So they just spam your inbox. And you just get so many of them. Yeah, I used to really want sponsors. At this point in time, I've got enough. The sponsors I have are great. But you got new people wanting to sponsor me that just reach out all the time. I'm just not interested most of the time. Nvidia popping up. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, that's the one stock that might change the market sentiment and movement here. Nvidia up to 474s. So yeah, Nvidia's been very strong. All right, so again, we're watching this bounce up. We've mostly been choppy. We have like 7 minutes left until the market opens. 7 minutes left. But again, we do have consumer sentiment data dropping at 10. And so be ready for that. That's in about 30 minutes, 38 minutes, 37 minutes to be exact. We're watching a couple different things on charting. Okay, got another little pullback here.
Another little dip. Yesterday, the U.S. Gov tried to borrow $24 billion by selling a bunch of 30-year debt. Nearly 10% of credit card users in America now find themselves in persistent debt. Bill Ackman, man. Has been going super political. All right, guys, very flat, very sideways. We still got 5 minutes until the opening bell. Just kind of hanging out right now. Again, the SPY bouncing off this 435.50 level over and over again. You can kind of see this level right here on charts if we draw it out on Top Step X. And again, this is Top Step X. Really nice platform, to be honest. So this is Top Step X, a really nice platform. And it's really cool because, like, in futures, you know, again, these are all the things you can day trade. I can day trade the S&P, the Russell, NASDAQ, micro S&P, micro NASDAQ, gold, Dow, and oil. And a lot of these patterns move very similar to, like, large cap stocks. If you look at, like, NVIDIA in the SPY right now, like, look, here's NVIDIA on the left, on the bottom, and then here's the SPY on the top left, right? They look very similar to each other, but you can day trade essentially this top one here, which is what you see on my chart right now in futures. Again, I can buy market, buy limit, sell limit, just like stocks. I can day trade, no PDT restrictions. And again, it's one of the best ways to day trade. Most pro day traders actually trade futures because, again, there's no PDT in futures. You can day trade short and all that good stuff in futures without, you know, the PDT rule. And day trade the very similar patterns as you use in stocks. And again, Top Step's the most legit funded program. They give you a demo, test your skill. If you can pass it, they fund you. If you don't pass it, you're probably going to lose less than you would putting up the money up yourself and losing that. Of course, if you put up $5K yourself and risk that in futures, you could potentially lose thousands of dollars. And the futures market can go against you very, very quickly. And so I think it makes perfect sense if you're learning to day trade to try the futures market out with a funded account program like Top Step. Even if you're a good trader and you just don't have that much equity, I think it's very useful. But of course, again, I'm biased because they pay me money and they're sponsored. But again, I genuinely use them myself, and I think they're just incredibly useful for traders. Yeah, Trade Desk got destroyed. Again, I still don't even know what the Trade Desk is. I assume it's an investment or a trading desk. Let me see. It's a digital marketing company. I always thought it had something to do with trading. Again, I just don't know about him enough. They're a marketing company. All right, market's starting to pop back up a little bit. Look at the SPY start to test those highs of the day at 436. Still increasing here. Bullish bearish deviation. Or Bill Ackman going up again, guys. Here's the opening bell. Market's testing highs. So again, we'll see if we get something good. Or divergence. I mean, not deviation. Same thing, to be honest. Divergence and deviation are mostly the same thing. They're synonymous. Anyway. 436 is on the SPY right now.
So again, we got about 2 minutes. I might buy this dip a little bit right here. I'm gonna try to scalp this real quick. Not the best fill on the E-mini. Nvidia breaking up. This might drag the markets back up too. Let's see how long, if there's a lag effect. Again, I got to get out before the opening bell, though. I'm not going to hold this through. Nvidia just cracked over highs. I believe these were highs of the day. Yeah, look at Nvidia pump over highs. Again, less than a minute here. I'm going to have to cover this pretty soon, I think. Yeah, we're going to cover it. We just lost like 50 bucks. Yeah, 50 bucks. It's just too close to the open. I got a little greedy. I thought we might test that high, and look, there's the rip. So it looks like I was right about it. I just kind of got scared out of it. And we're trading on our other account on Quant Tower here. And honestly, dude, those buy signals work really well. See, I would have, I missed this huge pop, which I'm a little bummed out about, but I was right about it. All right, so here's the opening bell. There's the open. Getting some retracements real quick. AMC still falling down even more. I am green more on the day. In equities, that is. Oil up some today. Walmart still moving. Big turnaround here on the SPY. Looks like maybe getting out was the right move, even though we would have profited if I would have stayed in it long enough. All right, guys, SPY at 435.50s. We got NVIDIA at 437.90s. See if we get a bounce. If NVIDIA doesn't rip back up, I might short, to be honest. We do have consumer sentiment data dropping in less than half an hour. All right, I'm short. Flat, slightly green. Problem is I see NVIDIA starting to rise up, so I'm going to have to cut this very soon if NVIDIA keeps pushing. We just scalped out with a very small gain. The problem I see is NVIDIA starting to run, and NVIDIA is a very heavily weighted stock in the S&P 500, which is what I'm trading right now, and I don't feel like getting stuck in that. So I took a very small profit because look at NVIDIA start to rip. NVIDIA up to 470s, right now 470s. Although my equity portfolio is starting to turn. And so look, there's the retracement back up. Tesla's starting to run back up. Apple's moving up. What's down so much on the day? Why is the market down? Microsoft's starting to run back up. But what's weird is that the SPY's not really following it, which is odd. I might buy this dip, but there's Microsoft pull back. I'm gonna buy this dip as kind of a contrarian trade right now. Unless I'm missing some heavy weighted stock move. Apple, Microsoft. Yeah, look at NVIDIA rip, dude. NVIDIA up 477s. There we go. All right, so we just made another 40. So now we're completely flat on the day now outside of commissions. Again, I thought we might bounce up. I still might buy some more here if we keep testing these lows too. All right, so we're going to buy this now as well. See if we can churn up real quick. I don't usually trade like this, but I think the extension on the downside is profound enough to maybe give me a little edge. I just made another 40 bucks. Now we're green on the day. Yeah, to keep churning. Again, I watch a lot of blue chip companies to see what they're doing, and then I kind of piggyback off of what they're doing. We're trading the open pretty small though on the regular E-mini that doesn't really move that fast. We're up slightly on it. I mean, again, you can kind of see my P&L right now. We've had 4 trades, 3 green, 1 red. So I mean, we're running 75% at the open. Probably gonna sit out for a little bit though, let things stabilize first. AMC's still falling, unfortunately. Looks like we got out in time to avoid this drop. Man, maybe I was wrong about my direction. SPY's about to hit the 200 EMA though, so I'm gonna buy this again. Yeah, the SPY's right at the 200 EMA, so I'm trying to give it time to bounce. I want to build up a cushion first. There's the bounce. All right, so we just made another $40. So again, building up a cushion, we're running 80% accuracy since the open. Again, I just see the SPY hit for the 200 EMA right here on this top left chart. Again, this is the SPY basically. It's the S&P 500. Microsoft getting ready to break highs of the day. NVIDIA is still breaking highs of the day. And so if the S&P is reacting negatively to it, again, what's dragging the S&P down? Does anybody know what sector is down? Okay, retail is down, I believe. Apple's very good on the day. Microsoft's very good on the day. Again, it's weird though. The market's still falling. I'm going to buy this low of the day. Again, it's kind of risky, of course. All right, we just scalped a little bit more. We are hitting the 200 EMA on the SPY. The problem is if we break, we're going to break hard. Google. Yeah, Google's down. It's down slightly. I mean, it's still above the pre-market lows, so it's at 130, so it's down a little bit. It's not like less than 1%. SPY still testing 435. Again, I don't know if the market's waiting for consumer data to come out or what, but all right, the lawyers who won the $1.8 billion lawsuit against the National Association of Realtors filed a new suit for anyone who has sold a home over the last 5 years. All right, so there's that big bounce I was looking for. Again, the SPY went right down to the 200 EMA. I talked about this level a lot. I told you guys we might be due for a bounce. And again, that's exactly what we got. We've mostly been trading the long side this morning over and over again. And again, we do have consumer sentiment reports coming out at 10. So tech is really what's heating up right now. Let's look at we did a poll about whether the spot ETF is going to get approved. We got some votes already, 13 votes. Again, SPY up to 435s, NVIDIA 477s. I'll be right back. I'm going to check on my son real quick, make sure he's all right. Again, do you think a Bitcoin spot ETF will get approved? Bitcoin, SPY, Tech, Q, all ripping up right now, all bouncing back up after yesterday's big dips from Powell. All right, yeah, so again, market's starting to really rip back up some. Kind of needed it. Again, led by Apple, led by NVIDIA. Google's actually rebounding back up too. All right, so a nice little rebound here, red to green. Not quite green all the way yet, but we bounced all the way back up. Again, still palping. They're still bouncing back up some. Bull trap. Yeah, I mean, I think you got to be more flexible, RB. You seem to just be bear, and like no matter what happens, you're not really changing your tune. And so I think, again, technicals aren't a perfect science. They're never always right, and I think you got to be more flexible, brother. Again, maybe we do dip. I don't know. But obviously, the last 3 minutes have been a little bit more strong, or the last like 5-6 minutes have been pretty strong, bro. Apple breaking highs all the way up to 184.50s on the day. NVIDIA almost back up to 480s. SPY back up to 436 is basically where it opened. Still very green on the day overall. And again, you got to still think we are down a lot from the open. You know, again, one thing I like to see is just flexibility. You know, you'll hear me saying, "Oh, I must be. Maybe I was wrong here. Maybe I'm wrong there." And I think you got to admit when you're wrong if the markets go the other direction. Maybe a short squeeze. NQ not stopping. Yeah, the NASDAQ, I'm sure, is just pumping right now. Yeah, look at the NASDAQ, man. NASDAQ, here's the Q. Put it in perspective. The Q is just flying at the opening bell. So the markets are really flying up. Like, let's put the NASDAQ up here so you get a better perspective of this. So tech is really what this is. The NASDAQ, man, look at that gap up on the NASDAQ. Crazy upward price action here. All right, guys, we got 17 minutes before consumer sentiment report drops. 17 minutes. Yeah, again, the market looks strong right now for sure. Who knows if it'll stop, but right now it's looking pretty pop. My equities portfolio is doing well again. When do Tyson Foods drop their earnings? I think they drop next week, right? Yeah, look at the NASDAQ. It's just not stopping. A little bit too green for me, though. It's up a little bit too much. So, like, I tend to, like, balance, and I think this is up a little bit too much for me right now. Yeah, and again, shout out to Chart Prime, though, guys. Like, look at this, man. Like, here's Chart Prime. Literally called this very low with the reversal up signal. Sell signal worked. Strong buy signal worked. Sell signals worked. Strong buy signal worked. That one maybe didn't work, but this one worked. That one maybe didn't work. That one worked. 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 That one maybe not. That one maybe not. But again, you can kind of look and see what the accuracy really looks like. Really impressive. SPY still churning up here. NASDAQ flying up right now. Like big upward moves on the NASDAQ here. It's kind of crazy how much it's up, to be honest, right now. It's big upward movements. Is Plug still falling? Plug moving back up some, but it's down so much. Plug power's down so much. At this point, Plug is down 30% or more. So it's a big drop. It's up a little bit too much. Yeah, I mean, for day trading though, like extension's a thing. And so like for day trading, once we start to hit a certain level, I stop wanting to buy it and start looking for a pullback to buy into afterwards instead of just buying at highs and shorting at lows. So yeah, that's the only thing is like prior to this last few candles, we were just up a little bit too much for me to want to buy it again. Yeah, we're also scalping a little bit on this Quant Tower account. We can see we're up. We actually made a little bit more than this. Let's see if we get pop. We'll go ahead and cut that there. So yeah, on this account, we are up 620. One better there than my other ones for sure, but man, the NASDAQ is just up so much. Put the regular E-mini up. That looks like a cup and handle breakout pattern, so I'll buy that. I'll put the limit in. Dang, man. I keep forgetting to switch. And I think I was right, too, unfortunately. We'll go ahead and take a swing here if we pull back some. There we go. It didn't quite pull back enough, but that's all right. I'll add to it and try. And it's starting to get a little bounce again. It looks like a cup and handle breakout pattern, but we're trading the regular E-mini because I just don't want to trade the NASDAQ, because if it does turn against me, the NASDAQ can really go. And so I don't want to get stuck in like a huge loss. And so I'd rather keep it small instead of trading the NASDAQ right now and build up that cushion I need on these accounts first and then figure out what I want to do afterwards. We'll give it one more second and then we'll cut it. I want to see if NVIDIA bounces at the VWAP at 476. If it does, that might give us another potential bounce. If not, we're going to cut this quick. That's better. SPY right at 436 is what I'm buying. See if we get a short-term bounce. We got a cushion on the day though, so that's nice. Oh, the SPY looks like it doesn't want to hold. Back to 436. Okay, we got consumer sentiment data dropping in about 10 minutes. All right, now we're back flat. There's the SPY starting to creep up. Slightly green now. Again, it looks like a cup and handle breakout, so I want to give it the time to work a little bit for me. Now it's turning quickly on the SPY, but it's still testing 436 over and over again. I'm just starting to not trust it as much. Now it's back up. You know, a lot of the time when levels hold, they really hold quick. And when they don't hold, they... a lot of the times when levels work, they work very quickly. And when they fail, they take a little churning fail. They slow and slow and slow and slow. And so I want to give it time. But, and again, we're completely flat on the day now, even with this trade. But it's taking a little bit too long for me for a green trade, I think. We're about to cut it right. No. Yeah, so we finally got out. We let it work a little bit. We're still pretty flat on the day with everything considered, but it's taking a little bit too long. I still think it might work. Again, my quant tower trade, we're doing a little bit better. If you look at my quant tower trade, here's my trading graph there. You know, we've been mostly trading the E-mini as well, though, if you look at this. Like, so here's the E-mini. And maybe we'll get that bounce up that we want. But again, consumer sentiment data drops very soon. So we just got to be weary of that and understand. Sideways. Now we're kind of sideways. Look at this big candle wick. Did something drop? Oh, Bostic is speaking right now, guys. I forgot about Bostic. Isn't he? Q moving back up. Look at NVIDIA. So NVIDIA did bounce exactly at that level. Exactly at that 200 EMA level we always talk about. All right, we did get into another trade real quick. Again, we're back flat on the day. Now we're green. All right, we're just going to go ahead and cut it. All right, so we got ourselves back green on the day. We made like 75, 80 bucks. My losses are a little bit too big today, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 trades, 2 losses. And again, the big problem is that like the reason my losses are much bigger than my wins is because what I do is I build up a cushion and then I take a little bit larger risks on the day. That way, if I lose, I'm kind of back to break even like that last trade, and I can build up another cushion and rinse, repeat that when I find edge. You know, and if not, then we're still break even. Again, we got 8 minutes left, guys. 8 minutes left until, or about 7 minutes left until we get consumer sentiment data. I'm not sure how much this is going to move the market. It is Friday. Remember, team, so it is Friday, and that's something to understand about this, is that it is Friday. We ain't got no job. No, just joking. It is Friday, and you know, a lot of the time there's less traders in general on Friday. So that's something you want to understand about days like today. Is it just me that hates Powell? No, there's definitely more people that dislike Powell, for sure. He's definitely not universally loved, I'll tell you that. I'm pretty neutral on him. I just kind of watch what his decisions are. I don't look at him as a person. I look at him as I look at him and the FOMC as a group. You know, if you hate somebody and you probably are, you know, losing money, and that's probably all it is. All right, we might try one contract of the E-mini here. I like the cup and handle look. So I do like the cup and handle look. All right, up 12, 25. I'm going to scalp that. We're out. All right, so we just scalped another 50 on this as well. So again, you can kind of see right now on the day, we actually have pretty good accuracy. Although, you know, my losses are much bigger than my wins. We've only had 1, 2, we'll call this green just for the heck of it, since it was break even. It was really green before commissions, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh man, I gotta count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We've only had 2 losing trades out of 15 today, which is really good. I mean, we're up about $130. My goal is to build up a cushion, and I think I have to wait for the consumer sentiment data to come out. All right, so now we're dipping down a little bit more. Yeah, we got 6 minutes, guys, until consumer sentiment data comes out. So, like, that's the thing you got to understand, is that consumer sentiment is a very small report. It's not big at all. Sorry, I'm kind of trading on this in the background here. Again, let me get this list quote out the way, team, so you can kind of see. Check out my P&L today. So this is my trades. Again, my losses are a little bit too large versus my wins, but that's all right because we're just kind of scalping this. So not too bad. I'll take it. You know, it could be worse for sure. Consumer sentiment data is coming pretty soon, though. We got a big pullback. Luckily, we're not caught in that. Part of me is tempted to buy this dip because we're hitting the VWAP on the SPY right now. Although the Q is just very resilient today, very strong. Disney looks weak today, but again, we cut all our Disney trade yesterday, so that's nice. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, you can join the wait list, but here's the link. We're almost at 4.6 today. All right, guys, we got 2.5 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Again, if you want to try out Top Step funded account program and futures, they give you a demo. They test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you between 50 to 150K with a 90% split. Great way to learn how to trade with less risk. Instead of putting up thousands thinking that you're just going to get rich and right off into the sunset, try a funded account program. If you're good enough to pass it, you still keep 10% once you're funded. If you're not good enough to pass it, you're going to lose so much less than you would putting up the money up yourself and losing that. And so it just makes a lot of sense in futures. And in futures, you can still day trade. You can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, currencies, gold, silver. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks. There's just no PDT rule, and you can trade the index funds. Again, if you look at the NASDAQ and NVIDIA today, they look very similar. Again, here's NVIDIA, here's the Q, and then here's NVIDIA on the bottom, so you can kind of see very similar patterns. Here we go, guys, 1.5 minutes. Link is in the description as well in the chat. All right. All right, we're consolidating here, guys. We got 1 minute left, team. 1 minute left before Michigan consumer sentiment and expectations. Here we go. All right, here we go. 45 seconds, team. 45 seconds. $20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds. NVIDIA's still bouncing here, team. NVIDIA's still bouncing. $10 seconds, guys. 10 seconds. Consumer sentiment is expected at 63.7. Let's see what it shows up as. All right, market's falling a little bit on this report. Okay, so it is out. Everything came in lower than expected. Current conditions, consumer sentiment, consumer expectations, 5-year inflation expectations were higher than expected. But again, consumer expectations came in at 56.9 versus 59.5. Consumer sentiment came in at 60.4 versus 63.7. And Michigan current conditions came in at 65.7 versus 69.5. 1-year inflation expectations came in much higher than expected at 4.4% versus 4% expected as well. Although the market is starting to kind of rebound a little bit from this, which is interesting. Looks resilient here. Yeah, again, we'll see. See if it actually holds here, team. Interesting. There's not really any other big market news, but if you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, we'll cover all the stuff that drops. Like we cover all the major market stuff. We cover CPI, PPI, jobless claims, retail sales, Jerome Powell press conferences, and we're just like your one-stop shop for economic and stock market news. Like we cover everything that goes on for the most part. And this is the reason, like our big streams yesterday, we have thousands of people here. Like Jerome Powell on Wednesday, we had almost 7,000 people here live watching that. And so again, we cover a lot of these big things. So you won't, if you want to know a reliable place, we also stream earnings, everything big in markets, we cover it daily. And so again, I'll put this number up on screen. Everything came in lower than expected, except for 1 year inflation expectations. Again, current consumer sentiment prelim data came in at 60.4 versus 30 or 63.8 last time and 63.7 expected. I'll put this up on screen. Here's the consumer sentiment data. Again, 60.4 versus 63.7. But yeah, not too bad. And again, with that said, though, team, again, we had a pretty good day on Top Step. Again, here's our P&L. Like this is our full P&L list today of our trades on Top Step today. We traded small because we're kind of trying out the Top Step X platform and building up a cushion. But again, we only had 2 losses out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 trades. We only had 2 losses out of 17 trades, giving us an accuracy rate of 88.2% today. 88.2% accuracy today. Again, our losses are a little bit large. One of these losses was a little bit large relative to our wins. But again, what I do is like I build up a cushion and then I take risks with that cushion. And so sometimes you'll see me build up a cushion and then take larger risks and go back to break even and then build up another cushion and then take larger risks. And I think that's a great way to learn how to trade, or not learn how to trade. That's a great way to have less risk in your trading. Market's starting to turn a little bit though. And again, if you want to try out some of these funded account programs with me, you can check out the link in the description for Top Step. Again, try out Chart Prime. Again, Chart Prime Trading View Indicator Service. I've been using it a lot with these funded programs as well. You can also see me on Quant Tower. We're pretty green on our Quant Tower account today too. We're up 640, almost 650 there. And yeah, again, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Y'all be safe. Again, I have been using Chart Prime, which is like a trading view indicator service. I've been using a lot on a 1 minute chart, man. And again, most of the time I use like a 5 minute chart for scalping. But just to show you like how I use this thing. Again, you can back test everything that they showed today. They also have like chart patterns, oscillators, like all this cool stuff. So like, look. And again, they called this latest slump too, man. It's actually really impressive, to be honest. Again, I was always against softwares like this, but like, look at this. Okay, like we can back test it one more time. Strong sell signal, nice drops. Buy signal here, nice bounce. Reversal signal, that obviously worked. Sell signal here, nice drops. Strong signal here, you got a nice little spike up to that sell signal. These both worked. This one definitely worked. This strong signal here definitely works. So that they all basically worked here that I can see. This sell signal didn't work, so that's one out of like a bunch. This strong signal worked. This sell signal, you could even say that one didn't work. This worked. This worked. This worked. This worked. Look at the strong. The strong ones seem to be really powerful. Like look at the strong signal here. Nice drops. These don't repaint either. Look at the buy signal reversal up. Nice little bounce on a 1 minute chart. And I never really tested it on a 1 minute chart as well, but it looks pretty nice, man. It looks pretty nice. Again, if you want to check it out, great way to help support the channel. Link is in the description. The data is reacted to negatively. So the market's not really liking this report. You can see everything's kind of turning on us. But again, I'm going to get out of here. Y'all be safe. Good luck in the market, guys. Again, y'all have a great weekend. I'm going to go enjoy myself. It's been a very, very busy week for me. So again, I appreciate the love and support. Thanks so much. And I'll see you guys later.